up your torch and dip it into the sexy St. Jeff candle. No Buffs is back. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory along with my fellow tribe members, two guys who definitely believe that pyramids are just giant batteries. Trey Kirby and JD, what's up, guys?
Gotta be.
Has to be. What else would they be?
It's the only thing they could have been designed for.
The tomb part makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Makes way more sense as a power source.
Of course.
They're covering up something, but I don't know what.
Yeah. We are Team Aliens built the pyramids here at No Bus. And over yonder, super producer here for No Bus this season, it's our guy, Eshua Kid.
How y'all doing?
What's up,
Hey.
Esh? Esh, what do you think? Pyramids just built by the aliens?
Oh, you know it. You know
Yeah.
I believe in aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did they build the pyramids? That's the question.
Yeah, because they helped at least.
Okay,
You know,
all right.
They helped. They gave the technology.
Supervised.
They were just consultants on the project.
Okay, we are here to recap episode 1 of Survivor 45, titled, We Can Do Hard Things. To which I say, can you? You can't climb a fucking ladder, bro. You can't do anything that hard. Wow. We will break it all down. We say all of this in jest. We love these people. We love this show. I hate to love some of the people on this show, but it's a part of No Buffs here, guys. Shout out to the live tribe joining us here on YouTube, especially to anyone new catching No Buffs for the first time. We've done this for what? What are we at here? 4 or 5 seasons?
Is it
of
5?
Survivor content?
It's 5 because we started 40 Winners at War.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 seasons
5
here
seasons.
for No. That's wild. So we have a blast recapping every episode. We'll get to tree mail, take some of your questions. We usually ask for those by way of Twitter/X. So we sometimes get to some of the live comments here. And again, thanks everybody joining us live. Hit the subscribe button. And if you're a podcast listener, we love you too. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. So usually we do go through sort of scene by scene. We're like really detailed recap. We're not going to do that for episode 1. Because we got the new cast here, and I think we can sort of tackle it in sort of looking at each tribe and getting your impressions from them and who you like, and we'll make some predictions and all that fun. But 90-minute episodes, every episode this season on 45. Probe said it took years of convincing CBS brass to make it happen.
Right.
JD, we saw one episode. It was 90 minutes, obviously with commercials. It's not that long when you take those out. But what did you think? Because we've been saying we want this. We want longer episodes.
Yeah.
But after one episode, you still want that.
I mean, I think it's too early to say because we have had 90-minute first episodes before.
Yep.
But I was loving it. I mean,
Like
Survivor
it
is
flew
good.
for you.
It flew for me. I did start a little late, so
Yeah.
I was riding those commercials. I did see that weird footwear off the top. Did you see these slides? Anyways,
A commercial?
commercial.
UFOs recovery
UFOs,
slides.
yeah. I've
they
never
showed,
heard of those.
Carson or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking about commercial stuff, I also thought it was funny that they put a buff on the CBS logo.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny
thought,
to me.
you know what? Super cute, and
very
I'm
cute.
into it.
I always
for
like
sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those little touches.
Yeah.
Why not? To brand it. Okay, so you're a fan of it, but maybe a little too early to tell moving forward. 90 minutes every
Yeah,
episode.
let's see how it goes. I mean, I want them to also make it 39 days again, and we don't need to get into that because I'm sure we'll be getting into that as it goes.
Right.
We got 90-minute episodes. I felt they were kind of light on content already. I didn't hate it, but I did feel like it was a weirdly cut show almost.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the pacing of it felt a little off for a first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 9 minutes and we're on the boat and they haven't even done anything. They spent, as soon as they said, their reaction to their name being Reba was like 10 seconds long. It was like, okay. Like, even Jeff was like, I've never seen anyone get so excited about me saying your fucking name. I mean,
Probably 'cause
it's
all
pretty
words
cool.
they've heard before. That was weird to me. It's like they've gone through so
Right.
many tribe names that they're just like using names at this
Reba
point. Reba and Lulu.
Yeah.
I did like though when they announced the names, and I think it was Kendra was holding her shirt, and she was like, whipping them back and forth.
They were so pumped, though. They really were. And you're right.
Yeah.
It felt like it was like a little lengthy start to it, or slow start, I guess.
Yeah, and uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, Reba is, I guess, but okay. So anyways, the longer episodes, I'm still into it.
Yeah.
I do want them to extend the length of how long they're out there. That's my opinion,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to factor in as we go.
Okay, what did you think of episode 1 here, TK? Just like, zoom out. What do you think? Was it a good episode to start Survivor 45?
Yes. As soon as Survivor's back on, man, I'm just grinning ear to ear. I don't care that the first segment took literally 20 minutes. It took 20 minutes for them to get to their camp. That's half of an old episode.
Yeah.
Right.
But like you're saying, we've always had chunky first episodes, so we'll see how it goes later on. Felt like we didn't really get bogged down by any twists, really, in this one, or any weird sort of idol hunts. There was a little bit of that kind of stuff. I mean, a disappointing ending. That's the thing. It's like any episode that basically ends with somebody quitting, you're like, well, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
And for it to happen in the very first episode, especially so. So a weird episode from that standpoint, but I'm still in on 90-minute episodes, but we haven't seen anything different thus far.
So, yes, you said it. Hannah quits. Day 3. Night 3. At Tribal Council. I mean, this is it was a weird, voted out / quit.
Right.
Has Probst gone soft? This is the first quit in the new era. But you remember people quitting before.
Oh.
Probst would lose his shit.
Yeah.
It was like,
I'm going to burn your stuff.
yeah, and I'm right there with him. And everybody, oh, how dare you? How did you get through this, rigorous, screening? And how did you become one of these 18 people? And now you're quitting day 3. And, he usually would be quite angry. And, look, he looked disappointed and he looked a little pissed off. And I think there's some comments coming out man, we screwed up. Sort of letting her on. It could have been somebody else. But he still, snuffed her torch and all that. It was like, what?
Well, what else was he supposed to do?
Get the hell out.
Slap her in the face?
No, just give her a sort of a, almost an embarrassing walk, walk the plank.
A shameful. Yeah.
Go.
No.
You want to go? Go.
You don't go that way. Go out the staff entrance behind the camera 4 over there.
Quitter's exit.
Yeah.
Security, get her out of here.
Yeah, where are all these people that at the end bring in champagne and pizza? Right. Just come in like bouncers and take her out.
There is a great shot of him just
Yeah.
and it's just a distance is just your dad daggers through your eyes oh, are you kidding me right now? So maybe he's softening in his old age, but yeah, I thought to me it was I heard after you were talking about it, but I'm heads are gonna roll. Honestly, after watching 90 minutes of maybe the softest people I've ever seen on Survivor.
Well, specifically one tribe was pretty rough.
It was rough.
Yeah, it was.
Specifically Brandon. And Brandon, I thought he was going. It was the obvious vote.
Well, they had 3 people to pick from.
Yeah,
it was Hannah who ultimately quits because she doesn't want to be there. It's Brandon who had maybe one of the worst starts to a Survivor season for a super fan, especially. I mean, he just everything went poorly for him.
Yeah.
And then there's Emily, who is maybe better physically, seems to obviously know the game a little bit more than maybe some of the others, but is a self-proclaimed pessimist,
right.
and was the biggest dark cloud hanging over this tribe that already is struggling. So you could have gone with that route too, just oh my god, just get her out of here for team morale.
Yeah,
they could have picked any of these 3.
Yeah,
and Hannah makes the decision for them.
Yeah, and the irony here is that the 2 weakest players had kind of a nice little alliance going, and they could have probably went sort of far.
You think so? Brandon and Hannah, you're saying?
Yeah, if they got their shit together. I mean, look, nicotine addiction is awful, but it passes. That initial thing, and it felt like I just want to go take a haul off my vape, man. Get me out of here.
Throughout the episode, she said it multiple times. I'm struggling. I don't want to be here. It was almost I was refreshing in the sense at least you're being honest.
Yeah.
She's I just want to get out of here. If I'm not going to win this thing, I'm looking around. I don't think I am. I might as well just go.
You people actually want to do this?
But she's saying this next to Brandon, who nearly drowned climbing a ladder and is having heart palpitations and reflux,
out,
and he's can't. Has he ever been outdoors ever? My point is,
I don't think I've ever heard the sentence "he almost drowned climbing a ladder," but it's true.
But it's true.
Yeah.
And she's saying, "Well, I can't win against these people." Looking at this guy who's maybe the worst player ever.
You can absolutely
hilariously anyways, just so goddamn ironic. And the other thing with Jeff, I think Jeff was so taken aback because usually when people quit, they've been through the ringer or something.
Yeah.
Something's happened. I fell off a cliff or, you know, like, I don't know, I miss my family or whatever. And she looked fine. She was talking fine.
Totally.
Like she had just come to terms. She walked into that tribal council, I'm quitting this game. Like, she was completely calm. And I think that's just, you don't see somebody sort of that able-bodied and that healthy and that young just be like, you know what? Not for me. I'm out.
Yeah. No.
And then you know, then he's on the phone to the casting director. It's like, I thought heads were gonna roll. Like, honestly, like, what is happening here, man? Who are you sending me, guys?
That's probably why he wasn't so mad at Hannah for quitting, because he looked at that tribe and he thought, there are two people who are ready to quit right now.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Maybe it's not these people's fault. They probably hoodwinked the producers and the casting directors with their "we can do hard things" talk. Surely that came up a million times in interviews. They're like, okay, they're going to give it their all. They're going to come out there inexperienced, but we're going to see incredible growth, which I suppose is still possible for Brandon.
Yeah.
But they got tricked a little bit, so probably Jeff is like, we botched this one.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily on Hannah. This is more so on us. And
Here's where I think they botched it. And this is why I almost want to come to the defense of Hannah. A small
Do
bit,
it.
but like, I mean, she quit. Come on, that's sort of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Day 3 especially. But they had no one on this tribe, it felt like, that knew how to make a damn shelter.
No.
Or like do anything of any sorts to actually like survive on an island. Now they have very limited supplies. They basically have nothing.
Yeah.
But like, same with the other tribe, the one tribe at least that didn't win the first challenge. Like, they just seemed like nobody that knew any sort of thing. Like, and I'm sitting there when you're at tribal council going, oh my God, I felt bad for Caleb and Sabaya.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, they are just with the craziest white people of all time. They must be going, what the hell is going on here? Like, I felt bad for them, but like, they were gone for a majority of the day doing the Sweat versus Savvy like duo thing. And it's like, the other 4 that were there, I'm sorry, Hannah, Brandon, Emily, and then Sean, it was like,
Right.
they didn't do anything. And I think that played into her going, well, like, it would be different if there was a woman or a man that was like, okay, let's build this shelter. Here's how we do it. Like, a little bit of comfort and confidence.
Yeah.
But that did not seem to be happening.
No.
At all.
No.
And so it made her probably just like, okay, we're going to be sleeping in dirt. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that added to my disgust, to be honest. Like, from Caleb and what's the other Sabaya's name?
Yeah.
They were like the principal, the guy who's the principal. Is that
That's
him?
Sean.
That's Sean.
Yeah.
Like, he starts weeping when this woman is quitting. I mean, I don't want to shame anybody for crying. I mean, God knows we want the people to cry on this show for our survivor pool. Sorry, Chris, you got a lot of work ahead of you because, God damn, these people never stop crying. Yeah. But it's like, oh, love you. Like, I'm so sad to see you go. That's emotion is for when somebody falls off a cliff and has to be a medevac or whatever. But you should be like, get out of here. I'm one step closer to $1 million. Like,
or double down. I wish somebody did this. I don't know who it would be. Maybe a Caleb or a Sabaya, like, because they're pretty, joined already, at least because they went into the challenge, whatever. Emily thinks so, at least. They should be like, oh, she's quitting. Well, let's also vote. Let's get rid of 2 people at once.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's just rip this tribe sucks. Let's get rid of 2 of them.
We're going to be here next week anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Let's just save you the time. Yeah. Let's just vote. No, are you quitting? Yes. Okay, bye. Now we're voting.
Who wants to be here? Like, only 2 of them put their hands up. On day 1.
One of them was Probst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
like, we've seen, this is 45 seasons of this show. The first 2 days are pure adrenaline. Yeah. That's all you need. Yeah. Adrenaline. You're out there, you're excited, you're happy to be here. You want to shed a few tears because you're so excited to be here, fine.
Of course.
But that's what you're running on.
Yeah.
Not this, it's hot and there's dirt everywhere and I didn't realize. Like, what do you mean you didn't realize?
That's what Nora was like, what does she mean she didn't realize? Like, what show did she accidentally, like, maybe she accidentally applied for Big Brother or thought she did. Like, thought she was going to be in the house or something.
She got tricked.
Yeah. She did that would be a sweet twist some season. everybody that thinks they're going on Big Brother, just throw them on Survivor, and everybody thinks they're going on Survivor, throw them on Big Brother. Yeah, I like that.
Could happen.
I did like Hannah's quote when she said, "I'm not survivorly." That's a great way to describe it.
Great.
And
I agree.
Look, I'm not sure I am either, but if I'm applying to a show called Survivor and I've seen the show of Survivor, it is a little bit more than just, ooh, slick moves and looking for idols and like swimming in the water and doing cool challenges. There is the part where you do live on an island. They show you a decent amount of that.
Yeah.
And it didn't even rain or anything. Like, didn't even have bad weather, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she just again, it was almost like she got there and she's like, holy crap, I thought this was gonna be better. Which is weird, but
it's hilarious. That's just
like, get me out of here.
And we literally saw a guy do like a stage dive onto a rock, and he's like, I gotta tough it out.
Yeah.
It was in for like 3 more episodes.
Yeah. And like, I don't really know, has Hannah been applying for this show for years, or is this was like a whim? I don't know that. I didn't look into it. But like, we heard Brandon, who was freaking out when they announced like their tribe name and all that. He was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I think it had an impact on him in that first challenge where his legs suddenly stopped working because he was like, holy crap, like, I have been wanting to be on this show forever.
Yeah.
As a kid, and now I'm here, and that has to be overwhelming. Like, don't get me wrong, and then, holy man, it just went south for him. But he persevered, and he's still there, and he did the whole thing that I'm going to play my shot in the dark.
Right.
Which people are trying to figure out, was that a move? Was that like a weird little move that he did there? Like, or was that just, I have been garbage for these first couple days. I wouldn't blame you if you voted me out, so I'm just going to try and stay here by playing my shot in the dark.
That sort of makes the most sense.
Sort of think
that if he wanted to stay, respect,
Yeah.
And he's also seemed like he was having a panic attack while he was saying, I'm going to play my shot in the dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's a guy who I can't stand because, I like him in that I'm going to enjoy watching him flounder around and maybe poop his pants here and there,
But then possibly rally.
But then rally, he could be a journey. This could be a journey show. Like, we're talking... Like from the bottom, like we're not talking Cochran or David White. We're talking like, I don't even know. Like this is a tadpole still in the primordial goo, coming out and and evolving into a Survivor player.
Yes.
That's the journey he could take.
Yeah.
But
he could be gone next week.
I put him on my pool. I'm putting him going next week.
You don't believe.
I don't believe it yet, but you know what? You never know. You never know.
You never know. Any other thoughts on this Yellow Tribe? Specifically, someone we haven't talked a lot about yet, Emily. Who, man. My God, is an incredible character. We've been sitting here for years saying, give us more villains. Give us people that we don't all just love. She seems to be okay being a villain right away. Like, she is calling out Bruce within minutes of the game starting.
Yeah.
Like, wild. Just like to even speak up in that instance where you're with everyone, like, and take a shot at him. And then, that continued with just her thoughts and sort of dour mood and just it's like the ultimate buzzkill. Like, I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. And she's at least self-aware. She knows she's like that. But, oh my God.
I think she's going to be really fun to watch.
So I'm happy she's still there.
She's basically Debbie Downer, Rachel Dratch character. Like, anytime somebody says anything, she's like, yes. Which is awesome, though, because I thought she was kind of funny. I like that she doesn't hesitate to be mean. I think in those kind of ways, like, she's a little bit like a Tyson character early in his Survivor career where, like, he doesn't care if he's going to upset you. The difference, though, is that when Tyson is joking around and, like, taking digs at people, it's endearing him to all the other people that were on his tribe.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that vibe with Emily. She just seems to be the hater-in-chief, which I'm glad she stuck around last night. So at least you get another episode of her just zinging people.
Well, yeah, and, like, I brought up the Bruce part. That's one thing. He's not even on your tribe. Okay, he's a returning player. Maybe you're trying to, like, get some attention on him. Yeah. There's something there.
Sure.
I think she went maybe a little overboard. But anyway. But then she's also doing the whole thing with Caleb and Sabaya, who go and do the challenge. And she's really trying to be like, she's suspicious. They come back without anything.
Right.
She's calling bullcrap on that.
Yeah.
She's saying, they've bonded. They really wanted to go. They probably got something. Again, these are all like fair thoughts on Survivor. Like,
Sure.
And again, to like point, fingers at someone to like, if we do have to go to tribal council and they sure look like they'll be going a lot, then yeah, maybe it's somebody else. But also like does nothing to hide it
Right.
from those people at all. She
Which-
said it to their face.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy, what is this? Who is this person?
Just an agent of chaos.
Yeah, possibly. But would you have been suspicious with them coming back saying nobody got anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very trusting. I feel like on my first day on Survivor, I'd be very trusting.
Okay.
I'd be like, damn, you didn't get anything? shucks. They're like, oh, well, I guess we got to go rip these palm fronds with our bare hands now.
Well, don't tell Bruce you're doing that.
The biggest waste of time.
Stupid idiot. What a waste of time. What'd you think of Sweat versus Savvy, this new twist to this challenge? We had the yellow and blue duos both trying it. Carrying the logs was the Sweat part, and then the Savvy part being this really perplexing looking thing where you had to get the flint, I guess, off of connected by a rope to this weird structure.
Yeah.
That they didn't really show us a lot of, and nobody knew how to figure it out, and I couldn't tell looking at it.
I know.
I was like, I don't know, no clue.
Yeah, and they also cut away at a weird, like we never saw the hourglass run out or anything like that.
Yeah.
We didn't.
You never really got a good look at the puzzle. I didn't think. Like, I couldn't even figure out what they were supposed to be doing. So my takeaway was like, did they make this too hard? Like, was this too hard for them to finish? I know
Maybe.
Jeff said in his things that like the Dream Team can complete it within 4 hours.
But that's all they do. That's their job.
Yeah,
They only had 1 hour this time.
And, I think
1
so. It
hour
was
to move all the logs.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
And then
which those
figure
were
the thing
huge
out.
logs, and like whatever the distance was. But yeah, I don't remember them showing us how much time was left once they got done the logs too.
Right.
Like, was there 10 minutes? Was there 20 minutes? Was there a minute?
They never really showed.
No,
the,
no.
They never showed it. Here's what I liked. I liked that it was head to head. I liked that there had to be a loser, because has anyone lost
No, I don't
it yet?
believe so.
No, they
Yeah,
all locked
so
it in.
they probably wanted there to be a loser.
Yeah.
Or two losers, even better, right?
Yeah.
Because more suffering, and that's good TV.
Yeah.
But I did like that it was head to head, but having a team, two teams compete head to head like that, it was odd not having Jeff there to narrate it. You know
a
what I
little
mean?
bit.
Yeah,
Like, even one of the players was like, "Oh, we're up 2 logs or something like
Right,
that."
yeah.
They got 3 or something. Yeah.
And they have to tell the story. I don't know. Bring in Rick Devens, like sidekick. He does those challenges.
That's
you
not
know,
bad, actually. Like, let Jeff train up the next generation.
that's right.
Okay, something there.
I don't know, or Jeff. Come on, man, get out of craft services. You got one more challenge to do.
You just wanted a little more direction, or at least narration.
I just felt it. It lacked the intensity of a head-to-head challenge that you would normally get with Jeff yelling at them. You know, that's all.
Yeah, and then some of the other like puzzle-based ones for this challenge, which is a little different in previous seasons, like we could see it. And we could be like, well, how many triangles are there?
Right,
or like
right.
whatever the equation is. Like, you're playing along a little bit. But we had no opportunity. First off, like, you're trying to take this rope out of a thing, like a metal structure. It's like, how, like, can you even, like, what are you going to make it? What about
Right.
Carson? I'm going to make that at home?
Yeah,
No. But it was just like, what? We can't see what they're even trying. I guess it was Caleb tried one thing. He's like, nope, that didn't work.
I don't even
But
know what
that's
to
all
do.
we saw. but why time it at all, right? Like, if it's head to head, then there has to be a loser,
That's
and
a
then
good
there
point.
could be a winner. And then if you have somebody there narrating and talking us through it, just let them sit there all night, whatever it takes to get that thing off.
Well, I think because what you're saying is they probably like that there's no winners.
Yeah.
They're coming back saying nobody. You're not gonna believe this. Nobody won, and everybody else going, yeah, right.
yeah, you're right.
It's like,
You're
come on,
right.
yeah. What do you mean? There's no winners. You guys all went and did it, and nobody could do it.
Yeah.
That's never happened. And you're telling us both of you didn't.
Yeah.
So maybe it plays it a little more. We obviously saw it already have an impact on Emily, who wasn't buying it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other tribes. Reba. Come on, guys. Reba. Yeah. Reba. The red tribe, which I would like to say to whoever names the tribes, good job with Reba red, Belo blue, And then Lululemon
Yeah.
for yellow. That was Rob Cesarino for that one. So the Red Tribe, I'll just remind you who's in it, because this first episode, it's always difficult to keep up on the names. But we got Austin, who has already found like a piece to the idol, but it's a beware advantage, so he can't vote. There's all that. We have Dee, we have Drew, we have J Maya, we have Julie, who's like the eldest person on this tribe. It's a pretty young tribe. She's like the quote unquote mom. She's 49, I believe. And then Sifu. Thoughts on Reba, the Red Tribe, so far?
I'm fine with it. Let's talk about lawyers. How many fucking lawyers are on this show? Three.
Might be
Lawyers?
three. Well, yeah, the two that we will
One
get to is on
known
Belo, excuse me, on the Blue Tribe. They have two. They have Jake and they have Katura. Jake admitting that he's won, and Katura doing the opposite.
Right, and also the mom.
Julie is a lawyer?
She's a lawyer
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
A late lawyer.
Late lawyer. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But she said she teaches art out of her house.
Oh yeah, so she lied
An
as
art
well.
teacher.
Good point.
Yeah.
So we have two lawyers not saying they're lawyers, and then we have Jake admitting that he's a lawyer.
You know what? I just want to say, fuck you to the lawyers. I mean, honestly.
Why?
Well, it's like, oh, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a lowly art teacher. Oh, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a lowly office manager. Shout out to the office managers and art teachers out there, because they're fine jobs.
Yes.
They're fine jobs. And you know what? Art teachers and office managers could be very, very good at Survivor. Lawyers do not have the monopoly on being good at Survivor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, on the other lawyer that's telling the truth, he's a target, and they're targeting him. I mean, I was sitting there watching it with Jackson, going, you know, they're pretending they're not this and that. Remember the guy who was a foot doctor last year?
Oh yeah.
What the heck was his name? He was an Atlanta guy.
He's a ripped guy.
Yeah, super ripped.
Josh.
Yeah.
Was it Josh?
You know who I'm
It might
talking
have been,
about.
yeah.
But he lied about being a physician, and it bit him in the ass in the end, because his story didn't make sense, and he started it out with a lie.
You don't think you should ever really lie?
I don't think it matters in this day and age. I was saying this to Jackson, and then, well, 2 seconds later, it's like, oh, this guy, we're going to get rid of this guy because he's a lawyer. And this is coming from an astrologist, so, okay. But it's just like, all right. I don't like it when people pretend to be jobs that are lower down, and I don't know. I'm offended for the jobs that are lower down. So that's all I'm saying.
So you think it's like overblown, the stereotypes that go with a lawyer, and the idea that no one's going to want to give a lawyer who in theory makes more money than a lot of other professions $1 million, and the stereotype that they're like obviously intelligent and maybe conniving and will do it. I mean, I don't know. I guess this is why they lie about it.
There is a stereotype about lawyers and about that. But I mean, like, if I was on Survivor, I would want to know, all right, I'm going up against a lawyer. Let's do this. I'm just a lowly content creator, which is, by the way, Brandon's job. I was so embarrassed for us content creators, guys.
Yeah, it was not a good look for us.
Same. I was like, at least it doesn't say podcast.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Is lawyer like the most lied about profession, you think? I would imagine like cops is high on the list.
Cops and doctors.
Doctor, for sure.
Anything that you make a lot of money. And then but I don't think it matters in this game. Like, I think it's more respect for the game, and
I sort of agree with you. I agree with you. You're just like, but they don't want to give you any reason. So if there's one person on the tribe that like hates lawyers,
right,
that's all it takes. Yeah. Now there could be someone that hates art teachers.
You're right. I hated my
particularly love my art teacher. Yeah, so get her out of here.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hunt was cool.
Oh yeah, good
Mrs.
one.
Hunt. I had Miss Hall, and every time she insisted when she took attendance that we had to say, "Here, Miss Hall."
Oh wow.
And then most of us said, "Aerosol." that was our joke.
If she ever gets cast on Survivor, she's like, I cannot tell them I'm an art teacher.
Wow. My art teacher was an older woman, Mrs. Dodd, and she had been there forever. And the rumor was she was a really quirky woman. And the rumor was that her son drugged her in her coffee.
Oh,
yeah, I know. We got dark in a hurry.
Like before school?
Like, had given her, I forget what the drug was, but it was like, it had an effect on her, obviously.
On just like a day, like
Yeah.
she showed up and she was loopy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Isn't that strange?
Drugging your own
Shit.
mother, that is
I know.
dark.
Again, this is classic high school rumors, I assume. But yeah, she hated my art, I'll tell you that.
On that specific day? Or-
No, I think the idea was like it happened in the past,
Oh,
and
I
it
see,
really
I see.
had affected her.
Oh, it lingered.
Yes, that's what the
Oh,
rumor
wow.
was. I have no idea if that's
Oh.
true, but anyway.
So, what was her name that lied about being...
Katura or Julie?
No,
Julie.
Okay, the Red Tribe. Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
about the Red Tribe. What do you think about the Red Tribe?
Oh, yeah, the Red Tribe. We don't really know that
No.
much. It seems unfair to me that they have a numbers advantage already because Drew is convinced that he's two different people. Because he likes
Yeah.
having fun when he goes out. You guys ever heard anything so crazy?
It was-
Sometimes I'm a different person when I'm hanging out with my friends at night. But who knows? They seem interesting. They feel like they've got a lot of people who are coming into the show to be characters.
Yes.
I will
Yes.
say I don't know how that's going to play out. Like Sifu obviously wants to be... He wants to probably be a jam type of character. He
Yeah.
might end up more of a coach type character, I
Yeah.
think. Jay Maya coming in as a singer and an independent musician, I think will try to play up her sort of fame or, you know, whatever it may be. And then Drew, I thought, his split personality. What a wild and crazy guy. But yeah, we didn't get a ton of the Red Tribe, so they seem all right.
Yeah.
But they did give us a potential, season tagline for the future. Did you catch that when they were explaining their tribe? Brawn, they had.
Yes.
Brains, they
Yes.
had. And morale.
You gotta have some morale.
Not as catchy as beauty, maybe,
No.
but
Important.
brawn versus brains versus
Yeah.
morale, season 46. Sifu, definitely a character,
Yep.
looking for the advantage. He's spying, he's doing his Tony Blackos, he's doing this parkour all over the place. And Nora goes, this guy Sifu, this is like if Michael Scott was on Survivor.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
That
my
is
God.
a great call.
Yeah,
Great call.
right?
Yep.
Totally.
So entertaining, maybe a little much, but
Yeah.
he's a character, no
He-
doubt. He's the Tai Chi guy, right? Yeah.
He's a Tai Chi guy, rock guitarist. Tai Chi rock
He's like
guitarist.
in his confessionals, like doing licks. And
It's like metal guitar, right?
Yeah, he's hardcore.
he was doing weird lick sounds, though. I'm not a guitarist, but I thought he was making strange sounds doing it.
If
Not
I
usual licks.
didn't see the picture or footage of him actually playing the guitar, I would question if he actually played the guitar.
Oh, okay.
That guy's lying. He must be a lawyer.
He must be a lawyer. The Tai
That's not
Chi
what a
lawyer.
guitar sounds like.
All right, interesting.
But those are the two, like, if those are your two passions, that's two red flags for me. Tai Chi and rock guitars.
It's amazing. I mean,
No offense to all you. I texted my son Lincoln right before the show. He's a martial arts guy. He's into
musician.
MMA, and he's a musician. Yeah. But those are not his things. He's trying to get him to be an engineer. Anyways, I said, "What are your thoughts on Tai Chi as a martial arts?" And he just texted back, "It's bullshit." That's it. That's all he said. And I said, LOL.
that's good. Well, I did Tai Chi. I took 2 classes to try and impress a girl back in the day.
The only reason to do Tai Chi.
I know. Yeah, I think I learned the first 6 moves. Sort of. That's really all I remember too. Yeah, it's
Graceful.
yeah, it's not for really fighting.
That's
meditation.
It's meditative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental strength.
Yeah, that's right.
Got a lot of mental
That's
strength,
right.
he said. But he did get caught hiding. The first
That's
time
right.
he did.
That's right.
I will say, tough to hide wearing a bright red shirt.
Yep. Yep.
That's one of the things they tell you. Don't wear the brightest color, but who knows?
Austin, a part of this team though, or tribe, he did find the beware advantage. He thought about it for a second. He's like, screw it, I'm opening it. And he needs to complete a series of tasks. And it looks like the first one is to use this piece of paper, this piece of parchment, and use it to help decipher a message on the tribe sign.
Right.
That's we never saw that. He never got to that. But I have heard Probe say, because of this 90-minute episode structure, that finding idols and stuff of this nature is going to be a much more drawn out process.
Okay.
So if you thought the bird cage was a little lengthy. I guess
Yeah.
this could he's going to have to do a lot of things. It's not going to be here it is in a tree. It's going to be okay, do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
I guess.
It sounds like he was given a checklist. He said,
Yeah.
I have a checklist, and the first one is, oh my God, I have to decipher this. But it seems pretty obvious what he has to do, right?
It looks like it.
You
Yeah. It
just
looks like hold it up, and
hold
it's
it
going
and
to
find
tell
it.
him his next thing, or at least
Right.
whatever next
Yeah.
step. But he can't vote
Correct.
until he has the idol. Is that right?
That is correct.
Ooh, wow. Well, so he's got to get to work then here.
Yeah, I mean, the trickiest thing is it's right in the middle of camp. But
Yeah. He found it after. I mean, obviously after the first challenge, but it was before the immunity challenge, right?
I think so.
So he probably watched what the Yellow Tribe was doing, found the Beware advantage. He's like, we ain't voting.
right.
I'll take this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I can make some bonds in the meantime. We're not going to a vote here.
Yeah,
At least not the first time.
I got days.
This is easy.
Well, you don't know. They could all quit by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Could be no tribe left. for all we
What if
know.
there's an emergency swap? What if Jeff hits the panic button and is like, this is not, we're not going down this road, you guys. 90-minute episodes. We're just coming off a writer's strike, guys. This is our time.
Yeah.
This season needs to be great. Push the panic button. Everybody swap.
Oh, wow.
Could
Maybe.
happen.
It could happen. Let's talk about the Belo tribe, the blue tribe. This is the one with Bruce. Bruce is back.
Not your dad anymore.
Emily was not happy. It's not your dad. But, man, that was pretty funny. I mean, he got a bit of a funny edit. Bit of the Dodo music there. And, he's a quirky guy. I mean, we didn't really see much of him, obviously, in his first season where he bangs his head. We get that flashback. You see why he's on Survivor. He seems like a character.
Totally.
But he says, I'm not the dad, and then he just cut to
Being
him
the
literally being the dad and telling everybody what they're doing wrong or doing right, or come on, you're wasting your time with these weaving of the palm fronts.
Yeah, I mean, as a dad, if I ever go on Survivor, I will definitely be referred to as the dad.
Yeah.
And I'll try to be the crazy uncle too.
Yeah.
But I was more, so I'm going to defend him. And I'm going to say that, who was it? The astrologer. Sorry.
Kendra? Yeah.
She's like, well, he said he wasn't going to be the dad. And then all of a sudden, he's the dad. You know, she's complaining about him. It's like, what are you complaining about? He's been out there for 12 hours, yes.
Yeah.
But at least he knows what he's talking about and not just dancing around because I was born. Hey, were you born in September? I was born in September. Hey, look at
They
us.
bonded over that.
Yeah. Our parents had sex at Christmas.
That's cool.
Great.
They did. They had the three females bonding over September birthdays.
Yeah. You know what? You want to find a bond wherever you can.
Of course.
I was just like, I know that it's edited this way and they are asked these questions to be, well, what do you think of Bruce saying that he wasn't going to be the dad and now he's taking over? And then she's prompted to say, well, it's kind of, he said he wasn't going to do that and he's doing exactly that. But why not take advantage of the little knowledge that he has, right?
Yeah. I bet you Hannah was like, man, I wish Dad was here. I wish Brucey Dad was over here.
You know what? It might have been a whole different thing if somebody had taken control of it.
That's what I was saying. I really, truly believe
right.
that. I will say, Bruce, tip, if you don't want to be the dad, don't dress in a business shirt when you're coming up to Survivor for the second fucking time. Like you could dress a little cooler, a little more hip uncle-like. You
don't think they made him?
I don't know.
They
They probably did, but
they're like, they're not
sure
gonna
looking
know
like
you.
a dad.
He was looking like a
Looks
dad.
like a dad.
He was looking and acting a lot like a dad out there.
Yeah, that's all fair. All fair.
My only other note from this tribe, because we already talked to sort of about all the lawyer stuff, Katura deciding I'm not going to tell everybody I'm a lawyer. Jake, letting it be known. Big old Boston dude on this guy.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't need to wear the Boston shirt, okay? We knew exactly where you were from.
We got it.
But I wrote down Katura is she's good. She's like a good liar.
Yeah.
And probably lawyer.
Yeah.
See, that slipped. That was... See, I mean, this is why you lie about being a lawyer.
That's right.
But I was like, whoa, she's really good.
Yeah.
It was just so easy.
Yeah.
So maybe she's one to watch in this game. But any thoughts, Trey? We'll start with you here on the blue tribe here.
On the blue tribe, my last thing on Bruce was I did feel bad for him when he was going into his first immunity challenge. He had to go through some sort of wooden structure, and Jeff yells at the top of his lungs, "Keep your head down!" Couldn't let him live for a little bit, man. Like, we're all thinking it. Jeff Had to rub it in, though. Yeah, we didn't get a ton from the Blue Tribe, but I'm interested to see how these women with the K names form as a bunch of... What did they say? Libras? I don't know.
Virgos. I guess
September?
technically Virgo.
Well, I don't think we confirmed that all three of them were the same sign.
birth month.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the birth month for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's barely a reason to join together, but at least it's a reason to join together, and if it works, it works. I really like Kendra as a character. I think she's going to be really funny.
Yep.
She's giving Bette Midler vibes to me, just watching her out there. She said, basically, I'm a witch, and I was like, oh yeah, hocus pocus, it all adds up. So I thought she was very funny, and I don't know. I'm optimistic that one of those three will do pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, you're a fool because everyone knows that Libras and Virgos do not get along. Okay?
Is this true?
I have no idea.
I don't know. She did call when Bruce said he said something like when he was talking about not wanting to be the dad. Kendra goes, doesn't want to be in charge, but he really wants to be in charge. Sounds like a Leo.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
I was like, I've got a Leo wife and I've got a Leo work wife.
Yeah.
Seems pretty accurate to me.
You got two, Leo.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, indeed,
yes,
yes, indeed.
that's right.
One is a classical Leo,
Yeah.
and one is maybe a more underground
cusp.
Leo.
And on the cusp.
We'll see if the women stick together, Katura, Kelly, and Kendra. Yeah, and if they do, could this be bad news for a Bruce or a Jake or I guess a Brando? Is that the final guy in this?
Brando.
His name is Brandon, but he's
Brando.
going by Brando.
Yeah. Well, there's already a Brando.
Yeah, we already talked about him on the other track.
Yeah, well, not for long, Brando, so you can go back. My one takeaway from the sweat and what is it?
Savvy.
Sweat savvy. You got Brando and the lawyer. What's the lawyer's name? I'm sorry.
Who are you talking about?
The guy.
Jake.
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 Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
They were together.
Yes.
Brando, Colin, Jake. Well, that guy's so buff. I'm like, wait, what? What guy? Oh, that. Okay, well, he is skinny. To be fair.
Brando
is.
I would,
Yes.
yeah, Brando's skinny. I mean, he looks like he's good, throw around some logs, that's for sure. But he's no Jonathan, like.
There's no Austin. Yeah, you see that kid? That kid is
he's
built like
jacked
a
too,
swimmer,
jacked.
dude.
Yeah.
A giant Michael Phelps shoulder.
I was concerned actually when he found the clue or the idol. He was wearing the skinniest
Yes, he
was
was.
just in
boxers
his
of all
boxer,
time. It's like, where are you gonna hide that? Like, they're not blurring out the crotches anymore. You notice that?
I saw that. I did see that. I did take note of that for sure.
It's your eye is drawn to it. Maybe they should go back. No, I'm just kidding. I hate it when they blur genitalia.
Yeah. Okay, but you don't
but yeah.
think Jake's that ripped, is what you're saying?
I'm saying, I'm just
buff.
no disrespect to Jake, but he's just a regular guy. He's just a
Regular guy.
Yeah. It's more of a comment of Brando being quite slight.
Yeah.
Going, wow, that guy's jacked.
Any other random notes from this episode? We didn't really talk about the immunity challenge. We had Brandon taking an insane fall.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yeah.
people were saying Probst was quite sassy. With basically like wasn't concerned. Though some people are saying, well, he was just trying to like tell him, get up, man. Like,
Yeah.
It was a bad fall, but he didn't land on his head, I guess.
Is that when Jeff said, like, this is what you wanted, now you got it?
Yeah. You asked for this.
Gotcha, sucker!
But they were struggling on the wall portion. That's really why they lost. They came into the puzzle part so late, they just couldn't get up.
Yeah.
And they were once again showing like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not a strong tribe.
Yeah.
Like it's like Caleb is by far their
Yeah.
athlete of the team, and I think he's looking at the other ones. Like I'd be like the third or fourth maybe on this team over here.
Yeah. The mud part of it, like I think all eyes were on Brandon, right? Going, okay, he really, really shit the bed last time.
Right, on
Let's
the
watch.
barge.
Let's
Yeah.
watch. And I know Jackson and I were going like, when is he going? He's not going last, is he? This is crazy. This is crazy. But then he actually made it through. He could actually crawl through the mud, right?
Yeah.
And what I realized is it was pretty good strategy because a lot of that mud got carried out with every single person that went through the mud.
Oh, it made
Mud
it
came
easier
with it,
for
so it
them.
was shallower. Yeah.
Interesting. You think they thought that through?
Like
Do you think he was like having a panic attack when they were talking through the challenge? Like, I'm gonna get stuck in the mud. There's no way I'm getting through the mud.
And then one of them was like, no. We're going to carry that mud out of there, dude.
Really
you don't
nice.
have to worry about it. But yeah.
it's like a bulldozer.
Maybe.
Going to head first down that ramp was a terrible idea.
I know.
Because you can, that meant you had to crawl all the way through the mud. Because you could just walk it wasn't like right there, so you could walk to it. Anyways.
They've sort of put a weird, almost like a fence almost going up the sort of one side to almost, I think, try and encourage you to slide down at first.
Right.
But some people were smart enough they could get there and then they could flip down and go on their back and, like you said, run through. But they were so far behind.
Yeah.
I mean, even Probst they edit this usually to make it seem a little more exciting. Probst was like calling it felt like. He was like, well, I mean, this one's over. They're not gonna win. Did he not?
He did.
Yeah.
It was like, it would take him, whatever he says.
Like,
it would take a miracle or whatever. It's like, you might as well give up. I mean, they do this, and you feel it a little more in the 90-minute episodes. The first challenges are so sluggish, you know.
Yeah,
they want you through the mud. They want you dirty. They want you struggling and I mean, they were using buffs to try to get one of the guys up, which I thought was actually
cool.
pretty
cool.
ingenious.
These are strong.
Yeah. So, but it does. There is a slogging factor, you know. I think that we mentioned that last time, but you know, it was fine.
What do you think of the pelican statue?
Nice, yeah. I did like the pelican head.
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, I would have that in my house as a decoration.
Yeah, no, it looked great.
It looked so cool, but I liked the sword better. Like, it was cool when they were doing all kinds of bits, but we could tell that Jeff did not like it when they were doing bits with the immunity idol. So they're like, bird head.
Yeah.
We're going
Yeah,
bird
well,
head.
bird
There
head,
was
and then the
pelicans
second
everywhere.
part is literally
The base.
a base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like, I mean, it was almost embarrassing handing it over.
Yeah.
It's like, here's
like,
you also,
here's-
you got second. Here's the base.
Maybe someday you'll get a trophy.
Yeah. Because we had Belo winning, the blue tribe won immunity, and then Reba, the red tribe, came in second. Obviously, Lulu, a.k.a. Poo Poo, went to tribal council. I wrote that in my notes. I had to say
No, it fits.
it does fit. Anything else, guys?
Nah.
Okay, let's get to some tree mail here. Lots more still to tackle here in tree mail. Great to see some of these old names coming back here on the Twitter / X. First one though, this is interesting from Graphic Mark. Okay, if you didn't listen to the On Fire podcast, I know you usually do. Did you get a chance or no? Not today. Not last night. Okay. The On Fire podcast with Rick Devens is on there with Jeff. Anyway, Probst mentions a deleted scene / scenes where after the immunity challenge there was a twist where the winning tribe could send a player to watch the losing tribe's beach. So Belo sent Kendra to Lulu's beach and sort of examined them. And I believe then also voted. But all of this was taken out. Now there was no vote in the end.
Right.
Because Hannah quits. But I guess Probst is saying on this podcast, one of your perks for winning, you get to send somebody to the losing tribe's beach. I guess they maybe just get to sit there and watch. Maybe they can't.
So this
interact.
is happening every time?
Well, I don't know.
Woo!
I don't know. But they edited it out. And then that person got to also vote who they wanted to go. Apparently, Kendra voted for Brandon. Now, I assume they probably, before they come in, or maybe she just writes down who she thinks should go or whatever, and then gives it to them. But gone.
Wow.
And yeah, we'll see if this continues.
So, but she was at tribal council, or she?
I don't know that part. We don't know because it was obviously edited.
So you observe for the day, they leave for tribal council, and then you cast a.
I would guess she's not. I guess she's not at tribal council. They probably are maybe they take her there and she votes or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or just maybe on a piece of parchment, like who are you voting for?
Interesting.
And we don't know. And then an interesting twist though.
It's interesting that you voted for Brandon because that would almost help them to get rid of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like a, or maybe she just felt bad for him. She's like, this guy's crying all the time, so let's just cut him loose.
This is so fascinating though because if she's allowed just to like, can she just like wander around and be like you two are talking as Lulu and I'm like, I just come up and like, I'm just like, what do you guys, I can't even talk to you. I don't know. Like, who knows?
Can she like search through their jungle and look for,
Ooh,
their
interesting.
hidden idol or whatever it
Yeah.
is? Interesting though, because to me, it felt like the episode was short on twists for a premiere,
Yeah.
which makes sense
Yeah.
because they took out a huge part of it. And I also felt like it was short on, once they split up into 3 tribes, interactions between the tribe. Like even in Sweat versus Sabby, I thought it was a little weird that the 2 tribes like weren't talking to each other and trying to like form a little bit of a foursome there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Also, we didn't see this with Kendra going to Lulu's beach. That would have been another little like crossover event that used to be at Shipwheel Island or whatever. So yeah, I guess Hannah quitting ruined their first 2 twists.
Totally.
Basically.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And will they continue it again is obviously something to watch for in episode 2. Or was this just like a episode 1 thing?
Yeah.
And they edited it out because it didn't have any impact because there was no vote.
Right.
Who knows? But it's fascinating to think how. I want to see how it works. Can she
Same.
talk to them? Can she give her input? She can obviously vote. I mean, that's got. I mean, I would think she can't talk to them.
I would think so too.
I think it feels like you would have to just go and
just
observe.
like walking around.
But then, like, wouldn't you be like, you'd try to hide stuff from her?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's crazy. Next one from Cameron. Thoughts on Emily as a villain? I can't tell yet if I love her or hate her. Also, will she burn out too quickly? I think she's great TV, but she got super lucky last night with Hannah quitting. And if she keeps this up, she'll be out next when Lulu goes back to Tribal. We've already talked a little bit about Emily, but everybody here seems to be pro Emily.
I'm pro her being on the show. I mean, I wouldn't want to spend a day
Yeah.
on the beach with her, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we want villains, and
Yeah.
she is definitely a villain.
Yeah.
And if hopefully she doesn't play it too hard, then they get rid of her. But she's somebody you'd want to take to the end, right? Because she's such a dark cloud of.
Well, that's what you have to weigh. And
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, maybe she doesn't win this whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's like helps my chances, but do you want to, I mean, I know it's not 39 days anymore, but do you want to spend 26 days with a wet blanket?
For $1 million, I would. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what you have to determine.
Yeah.
Cass
Also-
went pretty far.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Cass went pretty
very far.
and very
Exactly.
similar
I don't think
energies.
Cass was this.
Not like this.
Not
She
like-
was
not right out of the gate.
not
out of the gate.
When she was up against the wall, that's when she turned
Sure,
chaotic.
and I start to understand it on day 20 when I'm starving and I'm tired of hanging out with you.
yeah.
Okay, I start to understand being a little pessimistic or upset or angry or let me just tell you what I think.
Yeah.
Within literally 10 minutes of like being on the barge, like I was having that attitude. It's like, well, that's a little different, but that's who she is.
I hope it ends up that she's just a survivor villain, because who she called out was Bruce,
Yeah.
Caleb,
yes,
and Sabaya.
Yes.
So
Good point.
I hope that she's just a normal survivor villain and not a real life villain.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Next one from Zachary. There's a familiar name. First episode, 90 minutes, and no photo essay backstories. If they are not included, would you miss them? And how do you think they will get the viewer to connect to the contestants? These are the, the flashbacks, and we see the photo book and like hear the story a little bit.
I'm not going to miss them.
No.
Not at all.
If they are indeed gone.
I think that this is part of the good thing about having a 90-minute episode is that you are on the beach more, and you will be privy to the conversations, and you'll be getting to know these people like the rest of the castaways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I want to learn about their lives, and I don't need a flashback. I mean, I would love that kind of thing at the end, like during the reunion show or something that I like to see. I'd still like to see that kind of thing. But I think keeping it on the beach, and their stories are their stories, and from their own words to their cast members, that's how I prefer that they tell the story. But not that I hated the flashbacks or anything, but
they might be coming here too.
they might be coming. They might be coming,
Yeah.
for sure.
I didn't even realize there weren't any. Like I didn't even
Exactly.
think about the fact that they have been doing flashbacks for the past couple of seasons. So I definitely didn't miss them at all. And JD is exactly right. If you got 90 minutes, you can give us a lot more camp life, which we did get a bit of camp life in this one, and surely we will get more as, we're not in the debut episode, but that's how you tell the story. The people are out there. They're giving you days worth of content
Exactly.
to chop down into a 90-minute episode. You can get us to connect to the contestants that way.
For sure.
Yeah, and then you can still root for them based on the stories that they're telling. The way that their alliance members and their enemies do, interact with them. So there's a face value thing where everybody is thrown together, and what you see is what you get, and you're only given what they are giving each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And we as the audience, I think, should be part of that. It feels more authentic. It feels like we're on the beach with them learning.
Right. Next one from Galactic Zach. This is tough, putting you on the spot here, but when's a time in your life that you finally got to engage in a lifelong dream and completely embarrassed yourself? Alluding to our guy Brandon here. Does anyone have an answer?
Off the top of my head, the first one I thought of was like, I was a huge sports television fan when I was a kid. Like, I had a Sports Center t-shirt. A Sports Center just a fan of highlights.
Yeah.
I was also a huge Michigan fan.
Yeah.
Like that, the Fab Five is the reason I've always cheered for the Michigan Wolverines. So it was a little embarrassing after our very first show on NBA TV to have Chris Webber call us a straight up gong show. I was like, well, it's been a nice 21-year run of being a huge fan, Chris. Thanks.
He came around.
Yeah, he came around.
He slowly came around, but that's a good one. Good answer.
That's a great one. Yeah, same. Mine's directing up that very show.
First show.
The
as
first show,
starters.
yeah. I was.
Hour show.
It was an hour-long show. We were up. I was up in the control room by myself. The five of you, because Matt was down there with you,
yeah.
so I was all by myself. Brass all around me, plus the crew, and they were like, "Who are these guys? Why are they here? And why have they taken over our control room?" And it was Jan the Pelican sketch came out, and that was
Pelican!
Matt dressed up as a pelican came up, and they were literally could hear them like giving notes and also just going, "What is happening? What is going
happening?
on
We're
here?"
changing sports television is what's happening. You just didn't know it.
That's exactly right. But it was rough. It was very, very rough. And, you're sort of like, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this,
We were like Brandon.
Totally.
Content producers.
Totally.
We had to dig deep.
Yeah. And I cried when I got off the boat, too. Like, I was like, oh, my God, I'm so happy to be here. And then I shat myself in the control room. It was not good.
Awesome answers.
Not good.
Awesome answers. All right, well, keep your questions coming, guys. Best way is we usually throw a post up after the episode, either that night or in the morning, and just ask for you to reply there. Good start here, though, to a little bit of tree mail. Okay, before we wrap up here, we are doing, once again, the No Buffs Fantasy Survivor Pool using the Make Your Picks app. We love this. The links to the Make Your Picks app in the show notes already. There's an Apple link. There's an Android link. You have until the start of next week's episode to get in the No Buffs pool. We're one of the featured pools. It's very easy to join. Nothing has started yet. The show has started, but there's been, no votes, nothing tallied yet because we start it at week 2. You have to make sure you lock in your team. You pick 5 people you want on your Survivor team. You're trying to pick people that are going to go far. You're obviously trying to include the winner of the show because you're going to get the most points.
Correct.
But, you're getting points of, depending on what they do and finding advantages and all this stuff. So you can pick whoever you want. You need 5. And then each week you also have to decide, well, who's going home. So
correct.
We always debate it here on the show at the end of the show. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of votes for people on the Lulu tribe because if you think they're going back to tribal council, that means somebody's going home, and maybe the odds are it's one of them. But you pick up to 3 every week. And there are a bunch of other advantages you can play, and there are bonus points you can acquire this season by just clicking links, subscribing to No Buffs on YouTube, and we'll have other ones. Like, we'll go over this stuff as it goes on. But the main thing is you got to get in this week before Wednesday night and pick your team. Get your 5 in there, and then pick who you think's going home for episode 2. But I wanted to ask you guys to call your shot. 90 minutes in?
Yeah.
Who's winning this thing?
Caleb.
You like Caleb?
Canadian, for one.
I did see that.
I saw that too.
See that.
I didn't see it till I put him on my team. I was like, I like this kid. I put him. I was like, oh, British Columbia.
I did the exact same thing.
100% Canadian. I mean, Canadians have a great track record, obviously.
Doesn't scare you that he's on one of the shittiest tribes we've ever seen here on Survivor? You think that's good?
No,
Underdog story.
Yeah.
because he's got Sabaya with him. And I think they're going to be a strong alliance. And I think if they can just bring one of them, just bring one of them along to the merge, and then
You know, it's funny. I think it's scary next week. That's like as weird as it sounds. Like next week for them, those two, Caleb and Sabaya, could be huge. Like if they can get through, if they can avoid going there, amazing. Probably won't. If they go there, they gotta pray that Emily doesn't get the Brandon and the Sean to get rid of one of them.
Yeah.
That would be my scare. But I like that pick. I like him.
Yeah.
I mean, I have him on my team as well for sure.
Same.
But I don't have him as my winner. Who do you have?
I also have Caleb on my team. I thought he had a good first episode, like not from a strategery standpoint because it looked bad for his tribe certainly, but like he came out I thought looking pretty good. All things considered, and just very normal and cool. But my pick, I don't know. I'm going with Sean.
Whoa.
Sean is my pick.
Also on this horrible tribe.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Principal.
The young principal.
Okay, you know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate that pick.
I just think he seems to has a way of talking to people.
Yeah.
And he's going to be very empathetic. I think he's a principal. Looks like a young dude to be a principal, but must mean he's pretty organized and can think long term and think strategically. So yeah, give me Sean.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. I'm gonna stay away from the Yellow Tribe. As much as I like those picks, I'm gonna go with Katura. I'm going to go with
the good
woman,
liar.
the lawyer who's already lying, who seems really comfortable with it. And, I got a good vibe from her and seems in a good spot. And it seems already in a good spot with this potential September birthday alliance.
Yeah.
You know, but
Sure,
I feel
I
like
mean, why
she
not?
could quickly, like, when it's to her advantage, she'll be done with that when she needs to be. I like her. So, I mean, look, this is a shot in the dark here.
She's smart. So there's only so much she's going to be able to take with astrology stuff.
Yeah, unless she's super into it too.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible. People like it, and you know what? And the nurse is in that.
Kelly.
Kelly, that's right.
Kelly.
Yeah. Kelly, Kendra, and Katura.
Yeah, I got a real soft spot for nurses right now.
Oh
after
yeah,
our man
fair
Tassie
enough.
is,
That's right.
is
Fair
in
enough.
the
We'll be rooting
hospital.
for her as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Sean, we've got Caleb, and I'm going Katura on the Blue Tribe. Let's hear from you. And make sure you get into the Make Your Picks. Again, hit those links in the show notes and get in. Next time on Survivor, it's called Brought a Bazooka to a Tea Party. Here's all we know. Emily's a target. The Reba Red squad has some alliance cooking. Can't remember who was talking to. I think that Jay Maya maybe was involved. And then Bruce is weird.
Oh, he's looking real weird.
That's great. That's what we want. We want Bruce to be weird.
That's right. So brought a bazooka to a tea party. That'll be next time. That's episode 2. We'll be back then on the Thursday here for No Buffs. Make sure you subscribe, especially if you're new, and thanks for joining us. Thanks everybody in the live tribe, as we call it, the live chat. Don't worry, we'll get a little bit better at reading that and addressing you guys on the spot here. But a lot going on in the NBA world in the last couple of days and in real life here with our guy Tass. So thanks for joining us. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave us a 5-star rating and review. And Ash, great work. We will see you next week. Till then, though, the tribe has spoken.